Completely messed up. Gotta start over. I went the wrong way. False start. False start. False start. Gotta get it right. Good morning, YouTube. BitChute, Periscope. Others. Gab. The other places I post to. Facebook's on Anyday. Let's get Facebook going. Alright. Let's start. There we go. All right. Right. False start today. Hopefully everybody had a good morning, good weekend. I'll top my head was cut off. Sorry about that. All right. Talk about a few things today. People said it, man. Sometimes people gotta be upset. Alright. Almost there. Alright, good morning, good morning. Wow. Good morning. Who's that? Evan and Rebecca and Sarah. Good morning. Good morning. Shout out to a couple days. Hopefully everybody had a good weekend. Rebecca's not gonna be happy on this one. I don't know. Maybe. We'll see. I finally thought about it. Fix my background. I finally put some thought into this whole voting thing. Y'all, my final decision, whether I'm a vote or not. I've made a final decision. Actually, no, never mind. It's never final. It's never final. No such thing as final. We live in a dynamic world, y'all. We don't know what the hell these billionaires up to. We don't know. They run everything, run all the corporations. They run, kill, death, murder. I don't know what's going on. You know what? I'm just decide for the day. But all right, I'm gonna give you that in a minute. I'll tell you what I'm thinking. But all right, hopefully everybody had a good weekend. Log on this right, give people a chance to wake up. Come on in, share. There. Okay. Good morning. Good morning. It's funny how they play at the view counts. I see one person in the room. I see like 12 people already talking. Silly book, man. Silly book. Y'all crazy. NATO book. Pulling psyops on people. Try to tell you, don't trust the view counts. If you're posting videos, don't ever trust the view count. It's not right. It's never right. It's never right. Like I was telling a brother this weekend, I don't blame Facebook for none of this. It has nothing to do with Facebook or any of these places. It's just they're owned and controlled by corporations and deep states above them. So, I don't blame them for their view count mess ups. But being a programmer, I'll tell you why I don't believe the view counts. I'm gonna tell you about this for a minute. Hopefully y'all had a good weekend. We're gonna talk about a couple things today. We're talking about hemp, 3D printing. We're gonna talk about all the craziness around the world, journalism, murder journalists. Whether or not I'm a vote. I thought about that. I had to think long, deep, and hard. I don't ever trust the view counts. Don't trust the view counts. This is crony world, y'all. Everything's a lie. Everything's a lie, and most places are lying. Most people are lying. If people aren't lying, trying to tell the truth, They really don't know what's true. Because they control all the information coming in. So why in the world would you trust anything that anybody had to say? I tell people all the time, don't trust me. The hell you trust me for? You think I know what you know? I don't know what you know. I only know what I know. And I'm trying to increase that. So I find everybody that I can who's different from me, and I make friends with them. Try to collude and conspire on what the billionaires are up to. Step two. We'll know who all the brothers and sisters around the world are. What's happening in your country? Same things are happening everywhere. Because the same kings and murderous elites and rulers killing and everybody runs everything. Check my thread real quick. I asked a question this morning. One of the last questions I had. I was going through a chain of thoughts. Nations are going away, people. Let's embrace this. Let's embrace this. I know. I said money's going away, and it is. But money ain't the only thing that's going away, because money's based on human labor. So I get that everybody loves these currency models. They want to change them, flip them, script them, whatever, the digital, whatever. But robots don't buy things. They don't spend anything. They don't require salaries. The whole model of the world is busted. Nations are going away too. I was thinking about it. Because why do nations still even exist? If superpowers run everything, super powerful corporations make all the decisions. They run the foreign policy. They run the world. They run the nations. They own continents. They're deciding everything for even the deciders. Why are nations even still here? Why do they exist? Well, of course they exist for the control of resources, powers, control of people, human farming. But why do we farm humans? We farm humans because they can go get those minerals. They give us the power. They listen to us. They trust us. But when you're not farming humans anymore, you're farming robots because automation is doing everything. The automation economy that everybody seems to want to ignore, and they don't see nothing. All they see is Trump and what Saudi's doing and what America's doing and what Venezuela's doing and trying to position themselves in a world that is going away. Gone. Your world was gone a long time ago. And so the whole purpose of nations is to control the people. When you have robots that can murder the people, you have robots that do the work of the people and robots that don't need vacations, they don't need health care. What's the point? Why in the world would nations still exist? They're going away. Why are we still fighting like this thing? So this is what I was thinking. This is what I was thinking. Am I gonna vote? Am I gonna vote? Are you gonna vote? Who's voting? Y'all voting? I was undecided for a while. I'm not undecided anymore. I got to hold on. You know what, like they like to say in my country? They like to say, vote your conscience. Vote your conscience. Let me, I got to change my background for a minute to make this statement. Because if I don't change my, you won't understand what I'm thinking. This is what I'm thinking. Let me move her down a little bit. Am I gonna vote? Should I vote? Should I vote with my conscience? No. Don't vote with your conscience. I look in the mirror every day. I'm not me. I don't know who I am. I don't know who I am. I'm trying to find out who I am, but every day I look in the mirror. I am the lies that my farmers made me. Am I going to vote with my conscience? I'm not going to vote with my conscience. I'm going to vote with my sentience. Because my conscience isn't me. I'm not even in touch with it. It's so far beyond what's even possible, I think, on this plane of human existence on this planet. But they formed me from the very beginnings of being born, being told what I am, what religion I am, what I should think, what nation I belong to, what king is my owner, what lords write the laws and the rules of what I have to do every day on a daily basis. I am going to vote. I'm going to vote with my sentience. I am. Because I don't think I have a choice. I know a lot of people aren't going to like it. I got a lot of friends say, don't vote, don't vote, don't vote. But not voting is a vote. I'm a troll. I'll embrace it. That's what I am. I'm a troll. I'm a troll of murderers. I'm a troll of rapers. I'm a troll of bigots. I'm a troll of people who are okay with the worst things being done around the world as long as it's not being done to them. All I do is troll. Every day I come on here and I just troll it. I think I'm in touch with my sentience, and that allows me to troll the things that are not sentient. So I'm going to vote with my sentience. I am. I don't think I'm given a choice. I look at these pictures right here. I look at these babies around the world. The only way they get food is to fight for it. The only way they get food is to kill American soldiers or Saudi soldiers or Turkish soldiers. I can end their suffering. Well, okay, let me take that back. I don't know if I can end their suffering. But do I owe it to them to vote sentient? Not with my conscience, because my conscience, you know what it tells me? It'll tell me if I believe in this, I'm a Democrat. If I believe in that, I'm a Republican. If I believe in this, I should vote for people who are doing this. Right there. Happily. Happily. Being paid to do it. Being bribed to do it. I don't believe in Democrats and Republicans, y'all. Y'all know that. And those ones who are sentient, it's my belief, they're moving away from the sentient groups. They're moving away from sentient models. They're moving away from those who don't give a damn about these babies. The ones who don't give a damn about rape unless they know the person. They don't give a damn about warlords doing it. They're more interested in Kavanaugh, what he did 35 years ago at a kegger, with a drunk kegger with a bunch of people, as opposed to the murder of the model, the murderous and rapey model that's in their political parties. So no, I'm not going to not vote. I'm not going to give them that. So I'm going to encourage you to do this. And I know this sounds like a commercial or a message. My name is Gerard, and I approve this message. Go vote sentient. Don't vote your conscience. Don't vote for a party. Vote sentient. I'm going to tell you what I'll do. I tell you, I really don't care what they say. I'm going to go down the list, and I don't care who it is. As long as, well, maybe I care a little bit. I have to do some research. As long as you are not for rape, for murder, for starvation, you might get my vote. But if you're in a group that hasn't renounced rape, murder, mass incarceration, caging humans, starving immigrants, pulling the boats back that are going out into the seas to rescue them. If you're for parties that support this right here, you can't have my vote. All you're going to get is my troll. Because if I don't vote, I feel like I'm voting for you. That's what I feel like. Like, I think we need to move on in the world. We need to move on to the hemp world. I'm going to talk about that in a minute. That little sister right there, that's your sister. I don't know if you realize this. That is your sister. That is your little cousin. Distant. You came from the same tribe as her. The only difference is your ancestors walked a little further away from hers. But that is your sister. You don't even know her name. I don't know my name. That makes me feel kind of bad. So yeah, I'm a vote. Because the only other way is violence. So I'm not going to not vote. Because not voting means I'm voting for it. Voting for political parties with a model that are doing it, taking the bribes, meaning that I'm voting to keep that the earth model. And I don't think that's okay. I don't think I'm gonna do that. That's not me. That's not sentient. So I'm gonna ask you to go ahead and think about that. You know, and I'm not, like I said, my mind is not always made up, but where it is right now, I feel like if I don't vote, then I'm voting to keep these murdery bastards in power. And you're not gonna get that from me. You'll never get me to surrender. You'll never get me to surrender. I'll ask, where's Debbie at? I haven't talked to Debbie in a minute. She called the other day. I got to call her back. Debbie's still around, but she's not posting videos. She's not really doing much. Why? Because nobody else was. She was too big. She got on the top. You get on the top, crazy things start happening. You start seeing black cars in front of your house and black helicopters and crazy stuff, because these murdery bastards are real. These people aren't playing. These are real people. When you start questioning them doing this happily, you're attacking their colonizer model of stealing resources and murdering people all over this planet. So no, You're not gonna get me to back down from that. I'm not a back downer. You want me to be quiet? You have to treat me like Jamal Khashoggi, who I keep posting about. Y'all know who Jamal Khashoggi is, right? Turkey suspects that they murdered him. That's what Turkey suspects. Turkey suspects that they murdered him, that he went into the Saudi consulate to get a marriage license on Tuesday, and he hadn't been heard from since. He didn't come out. His fiance hadn't seen him since. And they suspect he's murdered. It's now it's a murder investigation investigating the Saudi consulate now. These people don't care. They don't care. So no, you're not gonna not get a not vote from me. You can go to hell. You can go to hell today, you can go to hell tomorrow, you can go to hell. And if my atheist friends are right and there's no hell, we're gonna make a hell and put you in it. But you're not gonna get me to just be silent and back down and not speak up. It's time to get off the benches, people. I'm sorry. It is time to get off the benches and vote sentient. Troll to vote your conscience. Don't vote your conscience. That's not you. Vote sentient. If you feel that's voting for Bart Simpson, then damn it, do it. You feel that's voting for somebody, do it. But I am going to vote against the current world model of hunger, death, destruction, rape, funneling weapons all over this planet, and pretending to your nation like you're sentient. No, I'm voting against you. I'm sorry. That's it. Does my vote count? I don't think so. I don't think so. But I don't know that this counts. And I still do it every damn day. I still come out here and troll every damn day. See, I am going to vote. I'm going to vote because I owe it to this little girl right here. I owe it to all these little girls. I owe it to all my family all around the world to stand down my government. And going and not going to a poll is agreeing with the model they have for the world. And I'm completely against the model. Vote sentient, people. That's a commercial. My name is Gerard. I approve that message. I know everybody's not going to agree with it. I'm just going to ask you to think about it. That's all I'm going to do. You don't agree with that? I'm going to ask you to think about it. Not voting does support that. So I'll talk about hemp today. Hemp is delicious, man. Hemp is delicious and it's literally nutritious. Hemp world. Let me show you this. So hemp, all kind of wonderful, phenomenal things about hemp. It is definitely a crop that's come from the alien gods. It is a superfood. You can eat it. Some 25,000 different products you can make for everything. Works in plastic, man. You can build houses with it, you can build cars with it, everything. And I think hemp will change the world. You know why? Because it's a prolific grower. It's a damn weed. It grows like crazy. You can't stop it. It just takes over and grows and it won't stop. A couple weeks, it goes from a little small seed. What was that 10 weeks? 10-week harvest, 15-week harvest to the thing 6 feet tall. It replaced bamboo. Bamboo replaced wood. 1 acre of hemp can replace 3 acres of wood when it comes to producing paper, the pulp for paper. Takes the woods 30 years to get that big. Takes the trees, you got to murder a 30-year-old tree. Hemp dies back anyway. Hemp will change the world. Why? Because we use it in everything. You could replace the entire auto industry with hemp. You could replace all these idiots who think that cars cost $50,000, all these dummies. No, cars cost $5. You can print an entire car from hemp. This is what I'm talking about, the hemp society. The hemp society of the earth. We need a hemp model. We need a model. Why? Because we've always needed something that we can use. You can use the stem. You can use the outer and the inner for the fibers. You can use the seed. You can use the leaves, all of it, flower. Let me show you something. This is what I'm thinking. We have to move. And this is why I think it's important that you have to troll this, keep the world this way. The world's going to change. Either we're going to change it to something nice, or it's going to stay the murdery way it is. This is why. Let me show you. Y'all see this? This is a 3D printer. Let me put my hemp back. Go back there. This is a 3D printer. Let me make that a little smaller so you can see that. You can 3D print anything. We are at the point where we already have the technology. Let me move my big head. That's what I had to do. We already have the technology to harvest fields and fields and fields of hemp. We already have the technology to 3D print pizzas and sandwiches and dough. We already have the technology to print houses. We already have the technology to print cars. We already have the technology to print airplanes. We already have the technology to print the drone taxis. It's just not the United Arab Emirates billionaires flying from tower to tower. It could be us. The only reason we don't is because you think you're American. The only reason it doesn't is because you think you're black. You think you're white. You think you're German. You think you're Christian. You think you're supposed to be fighting the other poor people. That's the only reason we don't have this for our Earth model. We can feed everybody in the world. We can clothe everybody in the world. We can house everybody in the world. You can have everything you want. We can stop raising the little psychopathic babies, shooting, killing, murdering each other. You're tired of the prison system? We can raise people who don't have to go to prison to survive. They don't have to break the laws to survive. We can do it overnight. We already have the technology. We just don't have the will. Y'all ever watch Star Trek? I mean, this is where we are. It's not crazy. This is the truth. This is the truth. This is where we are. Y'all remember Star Trek? Any Trekkies in the house? Hold on, let me go back here. See if I can find this. Any Trekkies in the house? Y'all remember this right here? Replicators. Replicators from Star Trek. We can make those. Now, honestly, I haven't seen the science behind this one. I theoretically we can do it, which means that they probably already did do it. But we know we can get there too. So now you're talking about growing fields of hemp. You're talking about how 3D printers spit out the plastic to make cars. You're talking about a harvester. You're talking about a robot that actually plants the hemp, grows the hemp, harvests the hemp, and then replicates the hemp into whatever you want. That's the world we could be at right now. You gotta make some choices. Gotta make some choices. You got to decide, one, that they're lying to you. That's number one, that they had this technology for a very long time. And two, you got to decide that the only reason your kids don't have 3D printing food is because you're fighting with other poor people to keep the billionaires in power. And this is my mainstay in my country against these lefts and these rights. It's because they're fighting to keep the world the same. They're not fighting for change. They lie to you. They lie. I see it every election. They lie as the day is long. Oh, we're for change. We want to change. They don't change anything because they're not for change. They're not allowed to. They're owned by the same industries and the same billionaires. So I'm going to get into the news. I'm not going to spend too much time on that. We can change the world. It's a choice. It's a choice of you not being a bigot anymore. Not adhering to your birth bigotry. Before I get to the news, I do want to talk about a few things. There's a lot of interesting things in the news. Because nations are going away. You can hold on to it all you want, baby. You can try again. It's not going to work. Try again. It's not going to work. Human labor is going away. We have to plan for that. We have to look to the future. So yeah, I'm a vote. Get a politician to speak the truth about cannabis and hemp, and I become an activist. Yes, brother Jonathan, and the only way that happens is we got to get behind them. And this is why I stopped and I made my decision. It's because you have people who are trying to do that. I have people on my friends list who are trying to get in government. Now, mind you, I'm not excited about if they're trying to go to a murder party. They're trying to go to a war on drugs party. They're trying to go to a non-hemp party. They're trying to go to a big pharma party. That's not gonna happen. Did y'all see Cory Booker? Oh my gosh, I was dying. Did y'all see Cory Booker's commercial? I was dying. This is what I mean is these people, they lie to you and they don't even think you're smart enough to figure it out. He just can't just started lying, talking about, oh, well, we need to make a government that doesn't take big money from corporations. We need to change the model. We need to blah, 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 blah. And his eyes look like he was an alien. Did y'all see that? Just lying out of his mouth, taking all that money from big pharma, keeping medicine from Americans. Oh my gosh, the guy is insane. Why is he still in office? What is wrong with you? Just lying. Kid with his fingers in the cookie jar, just, oh, no, we need to stop cookies. Cory Booker, that's where he got his finger in the cookie jar, got cameras, got him on film, just caught him evidence everywhere, got his fingers in the cookie jar. We need to ban cookies. Because cookies, y'all, we shouldn't be having no cookies. Cookies are bad because when people eat cookies, they get bad teeth. They got sugar in it, they get carcinogen. We need to keep the cookies. Just lie in your face. Just lying. But meanwhile, you gonna vote for him because you're scared of Trump, huh? You know what? This is what I hope. I'm gonna tell you, this is what I hope Trump does. Because I don't know how true it is. Y'all tell me. Somebody posted on my page because I don't believe in Trump nor Clinton. I think y'all were both crazy out your mind. But at least the Trump vote, at least he's not a politician. Somebody said he's a clown. I'm good with that. I'd rather have a clown in office with a red nose running around, shaking, causing problems in the deep state, because I don't think he's taking on the deep state. I'd rather have that every damn day. I'd rather have a homeless man who's blind, crippled, crazy, drunk, alcoholic, shaking, can't figure nothing out in office like this. I'd rather that every day. I'd rather a stay-at-home mom who's just pissed off at her husband because he come home every day, ass footed chicken. I'd rather her in the office with an attitude, just mad and angry. I'd rather a guy with mental illness and... I'd rather all of that in office than a politician that's murdering the world, than a politician that's putting little 16-year-old babies from New York in prisons. This is what I heard. I don't know how true this is. Y'all tell me. They said that Trump is gonna, I guess he had talking about reforming the prisons. I haven't even looked at it, but that's catching my ear. If anybody knows about it, go ahead and post it. I'm curious about this. Because, if America does it, the rest of the world kind of adopts things. I don't know how true it is. Talking about ending mandatory minimums. It'll be very interesting. If you're still a believer in Trump, because I don't believe in identities. I believe in good ideas and bad ideas. I don't give a damn where they come from. If you're still a believer in Trump, y'all need to push that prison reform and getting rid of the mandatory minimums. You stop putting people in prison for growing hemp and cannabis for longer than what they put murderers in prison for. That'd be the greatest troll. Oh, that'd be a real troll. Yeah, I don't know. You might make me rethink some things. If y'all can pull that off, if y'all can do what the other party's been lying about for the longest time, might be something. So let's get into the news. I'll check the comments real quick, see if anything jumps up. Yes, Star Trek. We could be in the Star Trek economy. Billy, it's our choice. We chose not to. We're still choosing not to. We don't want to be in the Star Trek economy. We want to stay in the murder economy. We want to stay in the rape economy. This is what, because people don't care. They don't care if as long as it's not them, as long as you don't think the person is human, they're okay with it. Can you 3D print some common sense and sentience? For the girl, I don't know. Yes, well, yeah, maybe. I don't know. My psychologist here. We're my neuroscience people. They here. You might be able to. Let's think about that. Can you actually 3D print genes? Well, I know you could 3D print meat. Can you 3D print genes? Can you turn the genes on and off? I don't know. I mean, the race pills are coming. Y'all know the race pills are going to take the pills, going to flip your genes, make you Chinese, make you black, make you white, make you Filipino, make you Hispanic, whatever you want to be, which is why it's stupid to fight over these dumb things, your afro, your blue eyes, your blonde hair. Everybody can have them. Anybody can have them anytime they want. And if they want to change, they can change, take a pill, and that's the end of it. So can you 3D print? I don't know. You know what? Yeah, it just depends. It just depends on where the consciousness comes from. But certainly we can start flipping genes. I mean, we're not too far from that. Epigenetic companies are coming out the woodworks everywhere. So eventually they're going to be solving mental illness instead of just throwing them all in prison. All right, let's get into it. So, Khashoggi, Jamal Khashoggi. So Turkey suspects that they murdered him. Y'all know who Jamal Khashoggi is. That's the brother who worked at the Saudi embassy in London, saw the internals, the workings of the Saudi government, and he became a journalist, and he started writing about them, explaining to you that no, these are not good people. These people aren't up to anything good.
Jamal Khashoggi was last seen entering the Saudi consulate in Istanbul at around 1 p.m. on Tuesday. He wanted to sign off on some paperwork in order to marry his Turkish fiancée, who waited outside the building. Now, she told Al Jazeera that an official said to her at the end of the day that he wasn't in the building anymore. And then on Friday, Turkey's foreign ministry summoned Saudi Arabia's ambassador to Ankara over the matter. And later on that same day, Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman said Saudi authorities would allow Turkey to search the consulate. Saudi Arabia invited a group of journalists into the Istanbul mission on Saturday in an effort to show that Khashoggi was not on the premises. Jamal Shayal is our correspondent. He's following this story for us. He's joining us live now from Istanbul. So how confident then are the Turkish authorities, Jamal, that Khashoggi has indeed been murdered on the premises of the Saudi consulate in Istanbul.
Well, pretty much certain, according to the sources that have spoken to Al Jazeera, Martin, the police officials here, as well as other security apparatuses, are indeed looking at this as a murder investigation. They look to the fact that these 15 Saudi nationals, amongst them officials, entered and fled essentially the country that quickly. The fact that Mohammed bin Salman, the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia, in that interview that, as you mentioned, was published on Friday, but was actually given on Wednesday, where he said there was nothing to hide inside the consulate in terms of...
All right, so let's just go there. I'm gonna stop there because this is a little piece of information I was missing. I didn't get. So what happened is Khashoggi went in to get his marriage papers and he didn't come out. But 15 other ambassadors or diplomats from Saudi went in around the same time, and then they fled the country. And then a few days later, they let him go in and actually inspect the consulate. So he wasn't there. So you know what that means, right? So some of y'all who still think that Prince bin Salman is a good guy, this is censorship, right? This is the war on journalists. Journalists' lives matter. Why is that important? Because you can't ever get to the Star Trek economy. You can't get to the hemp world. You can't do anything good for human beings if you keep murdery bastards in charge of government. It's not a good man. Not a good man. Not doing good things. Saudi's not. America's not either. Nobody is. Because the citizens are still fighting each other, not thinking forward to the future that nations are going away, and they're not getting rid of this stuff. If you can kill a man, it's effective censoring. And let's talk about Julian Assange, same thing. If you can lock him up in an embassy, you can censor him. And this is all it is duct tape. It's the final level of duct tape in censoring someone. Because if the people are stupid, you can make them do anything you want. And so what I have no issue with the Saudi people. Those are my people. Those are my brothers and sisters. Those are my cousins. Those are my little family and friends. But they don't get to talk because they don't actually run their government. They need to talk. We need to hear what they have to say. But that's why they kill off the journalists. And that's why they censor in America and Britain and Germany, everywhere, because we don't get to hear from these people. You know, we need people to run their governments, not corporations, right? So it's like, who was the guy who won the election in Bosnia Herzegovina, right? Like I said this the other day to somebody. I said, what were we talking about? Venezuela or something? I said Venezuela shouldn't exist. What do you mean Venezuela shouldn't exist? Have you asked Venezuela, do they want to exist? I don't think Saudi should exist. Why? Have you asked Saudi, do they want to exist? These are just colonizer made up borders. These are just murdery people who killed a bunch of people who were farming humans, and they drew borders. Have you asked the people in that government, in that country, do they want to be a part of that country? Have you asked the people in Texas, do they want to be a part of America? It's not America's. You don't have any ability to force somebody to be a part of you. They don't want to be a part of you. So he wants to break up, is it Bosnia and Serbia? He wants to break the country up. And I think that's a great thing. If that's what the people want. They want to break up Venezuela. I think that's a great thing too. I think when you have small nations, you have smaller problems. When you have big nations, you can have big problems. Small nations, small tribes turn around pretty easily, especially when one of them turns murder. You elect a psychopath and put him in control, a panel or whatever. Big government, oh, it'd take a long time. Not only does it take a long time, can't turn on his head, you got to usually kill a lot of people to do it. That's violent revolution. So I think we've gone the wrong way in terms of creating nations. But besides the fact, big corporations, remember, art of war, always do what your enemy doesn't want. Big corporations need nations to stay in place. They need them to stay big. They need the politicians to stay broad. They need a left. They need a right. They need the parties that are in place right now because they're all colluding. Whatever country you're in, they're all colluding, and that's what corporations want. So I want the exact opposite because I know who my enemy is. My enemy is greed. My enemy is death and destruction and rape, and I'm not selective about it. I don't think you get to do it. Corporations want big governments. They want big nations. then I want those people to be sovereigns. I want those people to decide if they want to be a part of it. I want Catalonia to break out if they want to. That's their place. I think in our country, Boston wanted to get away. I think they should get away if they want to. Well, no, Massachusetts. I believe in your right, your house, your body. I have no ability to tell you that you got to be a part of me. And besides, what's the point? What is the point in nations anyway? Somebody tell me. What's the point? They kill people. Democide. Number one killer of people in what's number two? What's number one? Number one is malaria. Number two is democide, the art of governments killing their own people. And that's just like known killing. So Khashoggi is nothing. And Jamal, he was just famous. He worked for the Washington Post. So he had a name. How many journals this year have already been disappeared? Something like 200 and something already they published. Nations do that because to keep their power, to keep their job working for the corporations that own interests in their countries, they have to lie to the people. So they can't have people going around telling the truth. They can't have journalists doing that. That's why they killed Jamal Khashoggi. That's why they killed Martin Luther King. That's why they killed JFK. That's why they kill everybody. Because they want to keep the nation. They want to keep the empire. They want to grow and fight. But hemp changes that. Hemp throws all that out of the way. Hemp makes money go away because damn it, you can eat it and print money with it if you want it. Like I said this weekend, you can keep your capitalism if you want it. You can keep your communism, socialism. You can dance with it all you want. But you don't get other people to tell you what to do. The whole reason that you're fighting, right? Because I think about the people in these corporate jobs, the people who are working the business class, the people who are propping all of this up because they're a little higher on the plantation than what most people are, a little higher up on the pyramid. I try to explain to people it's not a sentient thing to do. It's a thing that we're trapped into doing for the moment, but it's not a sentient thing to do because the more you make, the more you take. You're taking more from other people. So the higher you go up in your career, the more success and people clap, the more raise you get, that's the more money you're taking from somebody else. That's the more food you're taking out of somebody else's mouth. But on top of that, you're just supporting this whole killing, murderous, bloody system that runs the whole model of the world. You know, 8,000 people, 8,000 human beings a day in our world commit suicide. 8,000. 8,000 a day decide that it's better to die than to live in this world. You know how crazy that is? How sick is that? I wake up every day. I can't wait to get out of bed. I can't wait. I can smell the coffee. I get outside. I check my plants. I can't wait to get outside. I love being alive. But I'll give up my life for the right things. You can take it if you need to take it. You don't like my message. You know, you want to, hey, bring it. You're not going to scare me with silly stuff. We need to modify this world, and we only do it on no fear. All the stuff that you go to work for, the car, the house, the trinkets, the jewelry, all of that stuff can be 3D printed. All of it. Free. And give it to you. Don't you want your kids to live in that world? Like, isn't that a better world than what you have right now? Do you really want to hand your children forced labor? Do you really want to hand them the problems you have? Do you really want to hand them that amount of stress, destitution, desolation, and depression, as opposed to giving them something better? So here we are. What else is in the news today? A couple things in the news. It was interesting. It's interesting because I think they were talking about there was a Texas came up. This is important.
One afternoon, Fernanda Duarte and Camila Figueroa Kennedy are pounding the pavement of this largely Latino neighborhood, urging residents to vote in November.
Get out and vote!
Donald Trump's harsh immigration rhetoric and policies have energized Latino voters like 18-year-old Emily Soto, who's enthusiastic about voting for the first time and deeply affected by scenes of family separation at the border.
I come from a family of immigrants, so to really see families be torn apart is just really heartbreaking for me.
Grassroots get-out-the-vote efforts like this may make all the difference in this year's extremely tight race for Senate here in Texas.
So get out and vote. Grassroots movements are going to make all the no difference for people to get out and vote. So we dealt with a little bit of this weekend, right? Because Donald Trump is doing the same damn thing the Democrats are doing. Did you watch the thread from this weekend? You watch, I mean, my talking this weekend, I was talking to Brother Jay. I think Brother Jay is in the house, and Brother John was on. They kind of get into it. Two passionate brothers that got love for the movement, got love for changing the world, just disagree on how to change it. Brother John got involved with the family court system. Why? Because the Democrats are separating children from their parents. There's nothing more violent you can do to take somebody's kids from them. So that man has a lot of passion. He's supposed to. Same passion this little girl is going out to vote. But the challenge is, who do you blame? Do you blame the root cause of the problem, or do you blame what the media tells you to? Stop being controlled by media. Stop letting media tell you what to do. Media's lying to you. All you're going to do is get out to vote, change the Senate, get the Democrats in. Texas goes Democrat, and guess what happened? The same damn thing, only it gets worse, right? Because things aren't getting any better. Things are actually getting worse. So the family court systems and the child protective services, and so they'll just be taking more babies, because they make money for the state. Or do Hispanic babies matter more? Do immigrant lives matter more? Or do all lives matter? Is it okay? Because y'all right now they hate white men. Y'all, like, this is the racism that y'all have going right now. White men are the enemy, right? This is your racism, right? Your bigotry. Is it okay to take children from white men? Is it? Yes, because they're behind slavery and colonization. It's not one white guy alive that's involved in any colonization or slavery except for the ones in your government. On both parties. And the black ones too, and the Hispanic ones too, because they all agree with it and vote on it because they think you're stupid. So if you're going to vote, vote sentient. Don't vote with your conscience. Your conscience is made up of the media and all the lies and everything that everybody put in your head your whole life. Vote sentient. Otherwise, you're voting for no change. You're just voting for more Cory Bookers. You're just voting for more politicians. You don't need any more politicians in any more political office because they've already proven that they lied to you. There are no political problems anywhere in this world. None. None that are important. No political problems anywhere in this nation. None. None that are important. Everything is human rights. It's the right for people to live. It's the right for little girls to not be grabbed and taken into sex trafficking. And both political parties in my country are okay with that. Both are behind it, both funded, both send the weapons. No, Hispanic lives don't matter more. They matter exactly as much as white guys' lives matter. White gals' lives matter. Chinese guys' lives. Chinese women matter. Make sure you hit everybody. Somalian. Everybody's life matters. But you got to act like it. You have to get to the root of the problem, not the comforting mid-tier level that makes you feel good about yourself. Because you're doing something, because that's what CBS tells you to do. That's what ABC tells you to do. So so we'll get into a little bit of a discussion. We talk about voting. So I am going to vote. I'm going to vote. Voting booths are homes to cowards. I don't believe that, Rebecca. I don't believe that. I think voting booths are places where people go to either show their support for something or their lack of support for it. I think sitting at home is showing support for it. That's what I think. I think that's what they want me to do. I think they want me to sit at home. I'm not going to sit at home. I owe too much to this world. There's too many things that these Democrats and Republicans are doing. Too many. And I don't know if other parties will do it too. We don't know exactly how corrupt the White House is. I mean, I get the don't vote discussion. I get it. I was on the fence. Showing support for a system that's completely illegitimate, a corporatocracy. And I totally agree with that. But they need to know, from my perspective, that I don't agree with this. And sitting at home is not going to do that. Because most people sit at home. Most people in our country don't vote at all, which is showing total support for the system. right? There's the only two ways you change the system. You change the system from within with an outsider who usually gets killed if they're actually changing anything, or you change it violently on the outside with a revolution. I'm against the revolution vote, because that's what that is. Doing nothing, that's just waiting for a revolution. I don't think that goes well for us. I think it goes well for me. I know how to shoot. I know how to shoot. And I got a lot of friends with a lot of weapons. I am not anti-gun. I'm not I got friends with bunkers. I have bunkers been promised to me. I have places I can go. How crazy would that be that I would make a stance on something that I'm ready for, that I'm prepared for? I know how to grow food. I can take care of myself. I can take care of my family and my friends. How privileged of me, of that be of me, if I voted that way, if I decided just to not vote at all and let everything stay the same. I'm either going to troll the vote or I'm going to start locking and loading. I'm not a lock and loader. I think we can do this peacefully, right? But we have to change everybody in office probably. So the people who want to change it, I need them to have platforms. I want them to either get on stage and just say one or two things. Right? Let's examine it. Let's examine it for a little bit. Why in the world are we talking about Haiti is an S-hole country? Because somebody actually trolled the establishment and said it. Why are we talking about caging immigrants? And then caging being done by Child Protective Services and the military industrial complex and the prison system? Somebody was crazy enough to do it. Why are we having these discussions? Why are we seeing now that we're friends with North Korea? Now North Korea is our best buddy once they make a nuclear weapon. Because now we realize that our whole goal was to invade North Korea. I'd rather, if he is a clown, I'd rather clowns in office. I'd rather anybody in office than a slick back lying politician that these young kids in Texas believe in. Because that's going to keep everything the same. And I'm not for I'm for whatever it is, bring it, but it can't stay the same. If America has to just collapse into some sort of despair and depression-like condition, I'd rather that. Because the rest of the world is. But at least from something like that, we can build something new from a collapse. We stay this way, building the empire, I can't agree with that, sister. I can't agree with that. That's my stance on it. Vote sentient. Don't vote with your conscience. Your conscience is their conscience. Vote sentient. Don't vote for murder. Vote against murder. Vote against rape. Because if more people talk like that, and you actually get one of these young people who wants to be a politician up on the stage for a third, fourth, fifth, ninth, whatever party, and they get on stage and they start talking about human rights, you might have something. At least they got on the stage, right? I feel I owe it to them, not just the people in Yemen and the people in the Congo and the people in Mexico and the people in Venezuela, the people in countries that we've just taken over their entire nations and destabilized and regime change. Not just to my Saudi brothers and sisters. We owe it to them. They should have their country back. They shouldn't have our puppet government. They should have their own government. That's why everybody hates America. I owe it to all of them. And if somebody is bold enough, wants to get up on stage and look somebody in the eye and say, stop murdering people because you're both of your parties are killing, then I got to give them my support. They're trying, right? Like, I'm not about telling anybody what to do, and I'm not telling anybody to go vote. I'm saying I'm going to vote sentient. Why? Because I feel that that's what I'm supposed to do. And then you do what you feel you're supposed to do. I could be totally wrong, but I feel like they deserve my support. If they're not a part, if they want to stop the gang rape that's being done to the world by my nation, I think I owe it to them. I can't, in good conscience, participate in politics. My action has an effect. Yes, Crystal, but we're not talking politics. Right? Democrats and Republicans are the politicers. They're talking politics. I don't see any other parties really talking much politics. So I have no interest in politics. Politics is a waste of time in a time where humans are being murdered all over this planet, in a time where 8,000 people a day commit suicide, in a time where 121 people a day in our country commit suicide. That's not a home of freedom, love, and in God we trust. That's a home of despair, destitution, and hate the entire model. 22 soldiers a day commit suicide. I owe it to the soldiers. I owe it to the people who signed up because they wanted to serve their country, the little kids, and they ended up being murdered, losing limbs, or killing other people for Wall Street and banks and oil companies. When we got hemp right behind us, we don't need their oil, we don't need their plastic, we can grow it right there. So I feel I owe it to them to vote against politics. Every day, every day. It's not just when you go to the poll. Every vote, every time I open my mouth, every time I like something, every time I share something, every time I subscribe to something, every time I unsubscribe to something, every time I post a Cory Booker, every time, was it Brother Will? No, that was Brother Al who put that, the two Clinton and Trump are the same. Every time I post, every vote I make, everything you do, every breath you take is a vote for fixing things or keeping the world the same. Yeah, like Jay, yeah, exactly. Sergeant J, she's running. You know what? Do I think Sergeant J is going to be the president? Damn it, I hope so. Do I think? I don't think so. But you know what? If she actually makes it far enough to get on stage and say, you know what? I served in the United States military and they're lying. I'm doing this for my brothers and sisters. I think she should be on the stage. Lori said parties are the problem, and I agree with you, Lori. Parties are the problem because it's that cattle mentality, right? It's groupthink. If they can get, I was in this discussion with someone the other day on the thread. We were talking about political parties. Said, well, what do we do if we don't have political parties? I'm like, really? Did you just ask me that? What do we do? That's like asking me, what do we do if leaders don't exist? If adults actually got to be adults? We don't need political parties. That's just a way of grouping people together to make sure that you're going to do what corporations want you to do and vote that way. That's the only, they're there just to take your intellect. They're there to take your critical thought because they feel that you can't critically think. They want to give you the issues and tell you who to vote for and make you stupid so you can support murder, death, destruction, or any nation that another corporation wants to invade for cheap minerals. That's the only purpose for a political party, is to take your intellect away, to take your intelligence. Because they don't want individual critical thinkers, because good things happen when you got individual critical thinkers in your nation as citizens. Good things for the people, horrible things for corporations. So that's why political parties exist. So we don't need political parties. All you need is to understand what sentience is. It's to understand, is to be in tap with it. That's all you need, is to be in tap with it. So no, I'm not for parties. I'm not for it. It's just parties are guarantees for corporations that they can make money and have greed. That's all they are. It's like when I used to go to church. I used to go to a couple churches, they made sure that you made your tithe. Why would a church make sure you paid 10% of your income? And they knew what your income was, and they check y'all. Yep, Gerard paid his 10%. Rebecca paid her 10%. Lori paid her 10%. Why do they do that? Because the priests and the pastors and the ministers who run the church don't actually believe in God. That's why. They have no faith. The church doesn't make them live on faith. That's why they can rape little boys and do the things that they do, because they're godless. They need to depend on that vote. And they can. Because they know, okay, our church makes consolidating $4 million, so we can expect $400,000 that's coming in every year. So we can plan a church budget and run the church like a business, not an actual sentient or religious salvation center. So no, I don't get that. If I join the church, I say my income is 7 cents. I make 7 cents a year. So if you don't have parties, then the people might actually have a little bit of say, right? Not a lot of say. So yeah, political parties, they shouldn't exist. It's just a way of taking away your critical thought. Rebecca said, our Gerardian is nothing if not authentic. I don't know if I'm authentic, Rebecca. I think hopefully I'm unique. I think everybody should be. I think everybody is. But We have these birth bigotries and these models of human things that they've made us into. And some people want to get out of that and some people don't. I think everybody should be authentic. Everybody should be unique. And not everybody shouldn't agree with me. You shouldn't agree with me on everything. If you agree with me on everything, then you're a Gerardian. I don't even know what that is, Rebecca. But don't be that. Be you. Be authentic you. That's the only way we work as a world. If everybody's authentic, everybody's unique, everybody has their own critical thought, and they're not telling you, someone's not telling you what to support. Find your niche and go for it. Exactly. Find your niche and go for it. No politician will be anti-war when push comes to shove. Exactly, Brother Jay, because they can't. They can't. All the politicians have to be pro-rape and pro-war. They're not allowed to be. Why? Because we have a military-industrial complex that will kill them, just like JFK. So if somebody wants to step up and then Jay feels that, you know, that's something that she can commit her life to, if it comes to that, I'm behind her. I'm behind her. Points for what if adults actually had a effing grow up and be examples, mentors, and role models. Well, if they did, who said that? If they did that, Brother Jason, the world would be in the model it's supposed to be. For human beings, for the environment, for life, for the things that we need to support human life and health. We don't have that, Brother Jason, because adults don't want to be adults, right? They don't want to be adults. They want to be these models of whatever all of this nonsense is making. Here's a good example. What country is this? Let me show you this. Always good to have examples. I'm gonna block this as a political ad I wanted to show. All right, here we go.
They're also voting in a presidential election. Africa's oldest leader, President Paul Biya, is seeking a 7th term in office after 36 years in power. Opposition groups spent days trying and failing to form an alliance to defeat Biya. Only 2 of the leading opponents managed to form an electoral union. Now, the election in Cameroon has been overshadowed by a crisis in the English-speaking region of the country. 6.5 million people are expected to vote, but few of them are from Cameroon's English-speaking region. Northwest and South.
6.5 million people. Barely any of them speak English. Why? Colonizers.
Secessionist rebels there have vowed to stop the polls from taking place, and the government says it's killed 3 fighters who were trying to do just that. Now, this is a story that we've been covering closely since the separatist movement started to gain momentum 2 years ago here on Al Jazeera. A teachers' strike in December 2016 kicked it all off, as Catherine Soy reported from Bamenda, the capital of the Northwest region.
It's one of Africa's most divided countries.
Many classrooms in English-speaking regions of the country. Students who are about to write their national exam are worried that they won't be able to finish their curriculum. But they also say that sending French teachers to their schools only makes their studies harder.
Cameroon was colonized by the French and British at the same time. Both are official languages. There are 2 national school curriculums, and in English-speaking regions, separate legal systems. But French has all...
Because Africa was made up of hundreds of thousands of different tribes, like your nation was probably. Colonizers came in, drew the borders, and people agree that this makes sense. And so now it's one of the most divided countries in Africa, because you got a whole bunch of people who live together under some bank model and within borders that don't actually exist. Because none of this works. This whole model for the world is broken. Nobody agreed to it. Murdery kings that had more swords than another king made it. The whole thing has to go away. Rebecca saying government is detrimental to adulting. It is, Rebecca. Which is why we need to reduce government. And we increase adulting. There are only 2 ways to reduce government. 1, we get our AK-47s and we go let Homeland Security mow everybody down because they're ready for it. They just let the drones just eviscerate everybody. We're gonna revolt. Just wipe everybody out. Or we actually attempt peacefully to put sentient people in government to reduce the size of government. people who understand and agree that everyone's being divided up and politics is just about taking what somebody else has to give it to somebody else. People who understand that. Is it going to work? I don't know. Should we try? I think so. I think so. I don't think war in our country would look great. I don't think the world would go great if we went to war. I don't think China and Russia would stand by. I think the whole world would fall into a collapse of World War III. I think if America collapses, and why does this matter to you around the world? If America collapses, you can say goodbye to the world. Like it or not, America is the world police. They got the bases everywhere and all the high tech everywhere. If America collapses, everybody's coming for them. Everybody's invading the 600 bases we got all around the world. They're coming for it. You want your government to be at war with the one next to you, and now that the borders aren't stable? And I'm not for borders, like I said, but I am for stability. In times of stability, we get to talk. We get to have a dialogue and figure out what's going on. In times of mass chaos, we don't. Gee, is CIA trying to get us all cab on board? Who has jumped the ship? Cab on board. Oh, back on board. Okay. No, I don't think so. And not in terms of voting. I think the CIA wants you off board. I think the CIA has a lot of people to murder. I think they have a lot of countries to invade. I think they have a lot of minerals to grab. I think they have a lot of debt colonies to roll out. And I think that when we don't engage, they have all the say. When they own both parties who are on the stage, they get everything that they want. I think if you have somebody on stage like I don't know, Ron Paul, a Jill Stein, a Jay, anybody who doesn't agree with murder and death, I think the CIA doesn't like that. So I think the CIA wants you to stay at home. That's what I think. Government direct translation is mind control. Exactly. Thank you, Brother Merrick. Absolutely. It is mind control. And they need less control of minds. How do you do that? Reduce government. Reduce its size, reduce its powers, delete its laws, make adults go back to being adults, make them make their own decisions and solve their own problems. That's how you make strong people. That's how you make a strong society. But when you have people who are depending on government, because government is so big and it's run by corporations, you get people who just get deleted because we can't compete with robots. And that's where all this is going. That's why I don't think we have a whole lot of time to sit on a bench and just hope that they get it right, because they're looking to replace us actively. On a daily basis, human labor has less value. Every single day, we mean less and less to the ruling elite. Every day, nations' lives matter less and less and less and less. And eventually it's going to end up in a collapse. But of course, it'll be a collapse when they're ready, because they'll already have all the murder tanks, murder robots, and murder jeeps lined up that have AI that decide who to kill and murder. And I really don't want my kids to live at that time. I don't think that'd be a great idea. I think that we got to make some changes. I think that there is a better world. We talk about solutions all the time. We've got hemp, we've got 3D printing, we've got resource-based economies and gift-based economies. We have all these great things that we can do. But we got to keep having these dialogues, right? It's not about agreeing, it's about thinking. It's about listening to people that you respect, people with integrity, forming your own opinion. So hopefully I said something that makes you think a little bit. We can have a much better world. It's not a utopia. There'll be all types of problems. We have the hemp economy, and we actually start taking care of people and feeding everybody, not killing them and stealing what they have. There'll be a lot of challenges, whole lot of challenges. But I think that's a ship we should get on. I think that's a ship we should get on because it's the right ship to get on. I think it's the right ship. I think it's taking us in the right direction. So yeah, I think you should vote sentient. I do. I think you should get on board. I think you should get on the boat. There's a boat I want to talk about before I run. Just a second. As Hungary says, immigration is not a human right. Immigration is a human right. People been migrating since the beginning of the planet, idiot. What is his name? Of course, human migrations are right. People have a right to run away from rape and murder and asteroids. Shut the hell up. Love you. He's a brother too. I didn't know his name. Just don't say dumb stuff. Don't say dumb thing because you made it up. It's a fantasy. You made up something because it makes sense to you because you're in power. Humans always migrate. Where's that ship? The Doctors Without Borders ship. I'm looking for it. Hang on. Here's a ship. It is the Doctors Without Borders ship that they took its license. I think it was sailing. It was rescuing immigrants. Here it is. The Aquarius. The Aquarius 2. The Aquarius 2 is a ship that's out there rescuing immigrants. And now what, they can't dock at Paris ports, and now so in Paris they had a big protest because they wanted to get the ship running. We actually live in a time where we have Doctors Without Borders trying to save human beings' lives. And they're not even being allowed to do it. I do got to show you this real quick. I know I played in music, but hang on, I forgot it. This is important. I got to play
Charity
this.
ship with a mission to save lives in the Mediterranean Sea is being prevented from doing its job. Panama revoked the registration of the Aquarius last week. The ship won't be able to sail unless another country agrees to register it.
We launched a huge call to European states to help us and to help us finding a new European flag. We, at the moment...
I'm going to speed this up and go to the end where our last comments. But the point is they rescue people off the coast, people who they say have bullets in them, people who are fleeing Libya to get the hell out of there because we're attacking and destroyed the nation. And these are people in a time of, remember there was a time back in colonial days when there was a ship in distress out on the sea. We used to always try to help them. And now we're like stopping ships from helping people. Look at this.
And that's something that we call on all European countries to take into account.
15,000 people have drowned in the Mediterranean in the past 4 years. Most have been searching desperately for what many other people take for granted, a safe place to call home, somewhere to build a life. Unless the Aquarius is given new registration documents to sail soon, the crew fear that many more lives will be needlessly lost. Natasha Butler, Al Jazeera.
Get on the boat. Get on the boat. Boat sails out of Panama. Panama took its license. They can't sail anymore. Get on the boat. Got to change this world. There are people out at sea that need help. It's metaphors, an analogy. People who need us, your family, drowning in the debt model of the world, rather commit suicide because we refuse to feed them and take care of them. Got to be sentient. If you're going to vote, vote sentient. Now, if you're not going to vote sentient, then I agree. Don't vote. If you're going to vote with your conscience, don't vote. If you're going to vote with your party, don't vote. If you're going to vote sentient, get out to the polls and vote. Like you're a human being for the human race. So anyway, I'm gonna get going. Hemp economy. Think about taking care of each other. It's more important. Most important. Be human. Be human. I'll post the link. You guys can watch the news. I gotta go. I'm Gerard. Love y'all.